One of the issues that we find come to our office quite a bit and that people are just generally confused about sometimes is when they own property with someone who's not their spouse. A lot of times this can be a family member, sometimes it's a complete stranger. The technical term for this is a co-tenancy, which means you own the land with someone else, but you're not neighbors, you just both own the same tract. A lot of times, if you do not know who this person is or don't have a relationship with this person, it can be really difficult for you to manage this property. Co-tenants are generally responsible for all expenses of the property, and a lot of times I see clients come in here who say that they're spending all this money upkeeping the property and their other co-tenants are just walking away with nothing. So one of the things we often help our clients with is getting a hold of other co-tenants and getting them to pay for their apportionment of any type of common expenses of land, right? One of the other things I see quite a bit is when people who are in a relationship with each other decide to purchase a house. So they're not necessarily married, they're just in a committed relationship and they think it's time to settle down with this person and buy a house. The problem being is that there are different rights involved when you get married versus when you're just in a relationship with somebody. And if that relationship terminates or winds down, or if that relationship ends for whatever reason, you now have a house together and both of them sometimes don't know what to do with it. A lot of times it can be a very contentious issue. Sometimes one person wants to stay in it, the other doesn't. Sometimes they're both confused about what the mortgage means and if they're both on the mortgage or not. Sometimes they don't know who actually owns the property because only one of them's on the deed, or maybe both of them are on the deed and they don't know how to get out of it. It can be a very confusing issue. We certainly helped out more than a few people untangle this knot. One of the things that we commonly see is when a non-spousal, non-married relationship ends with a house involved, it can be a bit contentious. And what sometimes ends up happening is one person has to walk away from the house and we can help that process. Usually it comes with an assignment of rights where the person who's keeping the house has to take over the mortgage and the other person gets to leave and they have no further obligation. Sometimes it means that we help them sell the property together and split the proceeds. So I had a client come to me not too long ago and he was in a relationship with somebody. They purchased a house, thought it was going to be their forever home, and it turns out that it was not, to put it shortly. So he needed help getting out of the house, he needed help getting his name off the deed, and he needed his help getting his name off the mortgage. He came to me and we were able to help him. What basically happened is we discussed with his former girlfriend that it was best for all the parties involved to just have a clean split. He wanted out of the mortgage, said she could have the house. He'll sign a deed over to her, so he'll no longer own any interest in return for her assuming the entire mortgage, which basically just means that anything's left on the mortgage, she's the one who gets to pay for it. Went pretty smoothly, and at the end, pretty much everybody was happy and everyone got to move on with their lives. If that is an issue that you're facing at the moment, we're more than capable of helping out.